Alrighty, let's give everybody a minute to come and join us. There we go. I feel like it takes a minute for these lives to like pop up. But anyway, all right. Well, welcome. Is it Tuesday? Yes, it's Tuesday because I just did my group coaching call for my business on Tuesday. The sun was shining. We got like 6 inches of really heavy snow, and the power went out this morning, and that was a lot of fun. No, the power going out was like the last straw. So it's been a fun morning around here. But the sun, like the sun is kind of coming out from behind the clouds, and we are getting on with our lives. We are getting on with our days, and we are getting on with our Facebook lives, as it were. So this week, I'm going over, like, with broad strokes, the big things that I do and have done in my life to create the life that I want, right? The life that I want is measured in results. Okay, I know that seems super prosaic, all right, but if you look around, you have results in your life, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And then if you don't have the results that you want in your life, what does it look like to maybe think about changing this? So that's what we're doing today. So I'm going to show you how I go about thinking about all of this in my own life. This is what I do with my clients. Like I write these workbooks. Okay, this is our March workbook. So we just finished this. And these workbooks are all about results. And the reason I write workbooks is because I journal all the time. Okay, so this journal, I will tell you, I started this journal on March 9th, and I have written that much so far of this journal. So one of the results I have in my life is like an epic amount of writing about what's going on in my head. And that's one of the ways I create the results in my life that I have. All right, and so what I want to talk about today within results is how do we normally go about getting results and why that doesn't work. Okay, and then I want to talk about how we get the results that we might actually want. But in order to have any of that conversation, I got to tell you what results actually are. All right, so there are 3 buckets of results, basically, that we have in our life. We have results about health, we have results about wealth, and we have results about relationships. Okay, and those results of your relationships, those are your relationship with yourself and relationship with everybody else. Okay, so what are your health results? Your weight, your A1C, your height is a result. The color of your hair is a result. There are all sorts of things that are measurable results in our lives around health. When you go to the doctor, they're measuring your health results, okay? For people who are worried about coronavirus, a fever is a result, it's a health result. It is a thing your body is doing, all right, that's creating a response within your body. Your pulse ox is a health result. Now, most of the time, we're not really worried about those unless you have chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or asthma or anything like that, where you have those sorts of systems that you actually have to manage, all right? So your health results are any results are things that you can measure, and your health results are by and large things that you can measure about your body. You can include mental health results in here, okay? And so we all have mental health results. I have an anxiety disorder. That's a mental health result for me. I have a weight. You have a weight. That is a health result. These results are all 100% neutral. They don't mean anything. Your weight, I implore you to believe, is a number without meaning. And the only reason it has a meaning is because you assign a meaning to it. All right? We call those thoughts, right? They may be very habitual thoughts. You may not notice that you are creating thoughts about your weight, all right? But you are, because I promise you the number on the scale is 100% neutral. How do I know this? Because I step on the scale twice a day and have for 2 years now, all right? The more you decide the results in your life are neutral, the more you're going to be able to decide what the results in your life are, okay? So those are health results, all right? We have wealth results, the number in your bank account, the number in your savings account, the number in your 401k. Those are all results that we have right now. And I know I've talked about a lot of this, but I repeat myself because it takes the average American human being, the average adult American human being, 16 repetitions for something to sink in, okay? And so when we talk about wealth results, your savings account is a wealth result. I think I talked about that being a reflection of how safe you feel in the world and whether or not you allow yourself to accumulate money as a way of measuring your own safety. So those are wealth results. Okay. The value of your house, that's a wealth result. What are some other, other the value of your business, if you have a business, the value of all of your stuff, that's all the wealth results. Okay. You have results within relationships. All right. Results with yourself, which is kind of what I taught, this is what I talked about yesterday, that your mindset, by and large, is dictated by your thoughts about your relationship with yourself and what you're willing to do in the world, and your thoughts about your relationships with others. It's all 100% in here. Your relationship results all reside in your brain. Okay? So why am I telling you all of this? Okay, I am telling you all of this because there are ways in the world by which we try and go and get results that really don't work, which is why I invented the proofing box. Okay, this is a proofing box. If you recognize that you have results in the world, okay, and so I have, one of my results that I have in my life is I have a house in Maine, all right? House in Maine. This is a result in my life. I could pick up my phone and I could show you. That's interesting. We're getting an oil delivery, and we got an oil delivery like 2 weeks ago. Fascinating. Okay, so we have a house in Maine, and this is a result that Andrew and I have created in our respective lives. All right. Now, most of the time, what people do is they say, like, how did you get that result, Michelle? And what they're looking for is the process. Now, I will tell you, people ask me how I lost all the weight, and what they want to hear is all the food I cut out of my diet, all the he's going to run into a tree. This is going to be awesome. All the food I cut out of my diet, all the exercise I did. I exercised 12 minutes a day, guys. Right? They want to hear that whole process because we think if we know the process, we can create the results. But the truth of the matter is that what I eat on a daily basis, you could eat on a daily basis, and maybe you'll lose weight, and maybe you'll gain weight, because you and I, two different people, right? And so, this is not going to go badly at all. And so when we look at the process, and people always want to know the process, but it's never the process. And it's always, always, always the mindset. What got Andrew and I to Maine is my mindset and Andrew's mindset that we decided we weren't raising the kids in New Jersey. That was like a lot of it. We decided I walked into this house and it was August and it was full of light and it was it felt really well designed. Like I totally remember how I felt when I walked into this house and we decided we were gonna purchase it. Okay. And I will tell you, that was the same weekend. So I came up here and I was still nursing Molly some. And I came up here and Molly was with me. And she was a pretty little baby at that point. And we stayed at a local inn. And I had gone around and, done a lot of house shopping, went house shopping with my mother, and we hadn't found anything. I came back up to Maine when I saw this house on on the listing or whatever that our real estate agent said. And just to prove to you that circumstances are neutral, well, I saw this house. I was staying in a hotel alone with my daughter, and that was when I diagnosed my daughter with sleep apnea. So what's sleep apnea? Sleep apnea is when you stop breathing when you are sleeping. It's pretty terrifying. Now, it's very common in kids, and she was older. I mean, she was like 12 months old at that point. And so that usually indicates a upper airway kind of problem, not like she's quitting breathing problem, which happens in younger babies, right? And so I was able to put an offer down on a house while simultaneously working with an ENT around my daughter's sleep apnea. All right? People routinely do this sort of thing all of the time. This is not, I tell other mothers that story and they're like, yeah, no, I totally get it. And it's because I'm able to manage my mind. So if you ask me what was my process around buying the house, my process around buying the house has a lot to do with getting my daughter treated for sleep apnea. My hope would be is that is not anything to do with your process for buying a house, right? Which is why when we talk about how to create results in our life, I never talk process first, and I always talk mindset. Because with a mindset, you can create the freedom to do whatever you want. And what does that freedom actually look like? That freedom looks like allowing yourself a choice versus coming from should. All right? When you allow yourself a choice, okay, and that looks like a couple of different things. It's allowing yourself a choice means that you're not coming from need, I need to do this. I need to self-segregate. As a lot of people are demonstrating, self-quarantine is definitely a choice. It's definitely a choice. I was talking with somebody and she said the California beaches this past weekend were more crowded than the 4th of July. Okay? So I would say that human adults are making choices because human adults always make choices, right? But in our everydayness, when we are thinking about our everyday lives and showing up to our families and showing up to our businesses, to our bosses, to whoever is in our community, how much choice do you allow yourself versus what are you telling yourself you should be doing or what should be happening? Okay? When you are allowing yourself to come from choice, you ask yourself the powerful mindset questions I'm going to teach you tomorrow, okay, which is just a way of asking yourself questions so that you can create the results in your life that you want. But what choice looks like to me is freedom. It's the freedom to be who I want to be in any situation, to show up to any situation how I want to be. Want to be as a, how I want to be as a mom, as a veterinarian, as a veteran. Like when I am managing my mind and I am putting aside the shoulds, okay, I create freedom in my own head. And then within the context of that freedom in my own head, I can get an epic ton of stuff done. And that's how I get everything done, is because I have freedom inside my own head, and I am not worrying about shoulds. And when I find the shoulds in my life, I get rid of them. Okay? Because what I say is when you are living in your cauldron of should, all right? Here you are. This is your cauldron of should, right? And this is coronavirus shouldn't be happening. My kids should be listening to me. My husband should be listening to me. I should be skinnier. I should be wealthier. I should be doing everything better. Here's one that I found out this week about myself. I should be wearing lipstick on live. Don't ask me what my brain does sometimes. Okay? This is your whole cauldron of should, we call it. Cauldron of should. Right? And if you're sitting here, this is you, and you're in your cauldron of should, you're like boiling yourself alive. And it feels miserable, right? And out of your cauldron of should bubbles chaos, lots and lots of anger, because anger, all of these should thoughts on some level or another are going to come out as anger. Okay, you get a lot of poor decision making. All right, thinking in short-term thinking. All right. And I have news for you, folks. You can do that. You totally do that. People do this all of the time, and they totally manage their lives from their cauldron of should. Totally. It's totally up to them. Okay? I choose not to. Right? I choose not to. I choose not to should all over myself, as I say. Okay? And I choose to, get out of this cauldron of should and go back here. All right? And come back to the choices that I have in any situation, which allows me to manage my mind. Okay? And when I am down here at the foundation of my proofing box, I can decide what results I want, and I can decide what process I want. All right? And when I am doing that, I create results. I create a ton of results in my life. All right? An epic ton of results. And we have two different kinds of results. We have the results we've already realized and the results that we are working towards. Because you are also doing both of those things right now. You have results you're working towards and results that you have actually in your life right now. And do you want to make a choice about the results that you are working for? That's really kind of it. And once you decide that you want to make a choice about your health, wealth, or relationship results, and all you decide, and we're going to be covering decision making in episodes from now, you just decide that that's what you want to do. And then you come back to mindset. Because what's going to happen the minute that you make a decision and you decide that you want a different result than the one that you already have, is your brain's going to freak out. Because your primitive brain is entirely available to make sure you do nothing new and nothing dangerous. That is its job. Its job is to keep you safe. And it has learned over the course of many years, your cauldron of should might feel terrible, but it sure is safe, right? And And safety is what your brain craves. Safety literally takes fewer calories. You consume less glucose in your brain when you feel safe. And it is what your brain wants. Totally what your brain wants. Right? And I can see, Aunt Roz agrees with me, right? Because our brains love safety. Love safety, all right? And when we decide to crawl out of this cauldron of should, right? Plato called it the cave. When Plato decided to leave the cave, you can never really go back because your perceptions will alter. And that in and of itself will create new results in your life. And that's why a lot of people don't do it. A lot of people don't want to leave the cave. A lot of people don't want to leave the comfort and the safety of their primitive brain. And you can make that choice. And the question is how do you want to feel? How do you want to go about the universe and how you feel? Do you want to feel good? Do you want to feel bad? Because it's going to be 50-50. We're going to have mixed emotions. But what I noticed when I was not managing my mind is that it wasn't really 50-50. It was much closer to 80% of the time I was miserable, and 20% of the time I was feeling pretty good, right? Wouldn't it be amazing if only 50% of the time we were feeling pretty darn miserable and the rest of the time we were feeling pretty good? So I'm not saying when you create results in your life, it's going to be hunky-dory. I run a small business right now. That's an amazing result in my life. Not feeling particularly hunky-dory every moment of every day right now, I gotta tell you. But that was true last year too. Okay, this choice that I'm talking about comes when you understand that your real freedom lies in your showing up as who you are in the universe and how you want to be, regardless of the circumstances around you. Regardless of whether or not you're under lockdown for coronavirus, regardless of how you feel about the administration, regardless of what's happening to the stock market, now, in 2008, in 2025, and whenever it is, the things that go on around us are neutral. They have no meaning any more than your weight has a meaning. And if you decide that you want to, here, Food Safety Cat is coming to join us. Here, you're going to do the live with us. So if you decide that what you want is different from what you have, the sooner you allow the things around you to not mean what you think that they mean, and just say to yourself, that may or may not be true. All right? When somebody comes to you and they're super afraid about coronavirus, or they're super stressed out about their kids or their kids' teachers or their Wi-Fi or whatever, don't coach them, but just think in your mind, what are they saying? And what's neutral? What's a noun? What are the verbs? And what are they thinking? And those thoughts may or may not be true, even if they don't recognize it. And what that will do is it'll build compassion, okay? And you will change your own relationship with yourself and your relationship with them by creating compassion. The more you allow yourself a choice in your life, the more compassion you are going to create. And couldn't we all use a little more compassion right now? All right. Love you all very, very much. I will be back here noon tomorrow. All of these are archived on the Dirigo Food Safety YouTube site. Just go to videos, and you can watch all of these. It's a lot of really amazing content. So you are all completely amazing. My thoughts and prayers are with you. Shostakovich, my 18-year-old cat, sends all his love your way, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.